video around the Automatiko project. Today I would like to introduce you to the Serverless Workflow specification that you can find details about the serverlessworkflow.io on the website. Quite a lot of useful information, and for that I would like to give you a getting started experience with Automatiko to do that. So with 0.12.0 release, the getting started got a little bit improved and split into the one that is based on BPMN and one that is based on Serverless Workflow specification. So I would like to bring your attention today especially to the quick tour, which really allows you to very quickly start with it. So the only thing that you actually need is Docker or Podman to run the container. And then there are 3 steps that you need to do. First, create a directory, then create your workflow definition based on the Serverless Workflow DSL, like one example here, and then simply start the container. That is the development container from Automatiko. A very good thing that it's worth to have is the VS Code with the Serverless Workflow extension that allows you to really easily build the DSL based workflow definitions. Alright, so let's get started. So as I said, let's go here. So I have the workflow demo folder. So that is, as you can see, the development workflow demo. So that is where I will store my definitions. So if I just create file, hello.sw.json. So this is what is important. So the extension needs to be the sw.json or sw.yam. Because this is how the Automatiko engine reacts to the different file types. So here we have our first workflow definition. I will just grab and copy this example and just put it here. We don't need, as you can see, it's helping out. So just saving that out and then starting the container. So as you can see, I'm mounting the current directory, the workflow demo, into the container, exposing to ports, and just running that. So it will start the complete environment for developing, running that in the dev mode, meaning that all the changes that we do will be then immediately reflected within the runtime. So this is the bare minimum development environment. You will see a bit more as we go, as well how to deal with events and how to deal with the persistence. So as you can see, really have that information that the server is up and running. So if we go here, we can look at the Swagger definition of that service. So we have the endpoints that the Automatiko generated out of the workflow definition. And in addition to that, we can look at the process management. That gives us a bit of visualization as well, how the work will look like. Extremely simple, but this is what we want to get started with first. So if we want to just run it, we can just grab that and we can get the hello world example. Extremely simple. So let's get this a little bit more advanced. So let's add a new state. So let's click name and we go sleep, and that will be a type sleep state. So we want to sleep for certain duration. So let's say we want to sleep for 10 seconds, and this one actually will end. And this one, instead of ending here, we will do the transition to our sleep state. As simple as that. Alright, so we have that covered. So if we go back here and look at our process management, it refreshes automatically and we should see already the new state represented. So if we now start it again, go back here, we can see that one instance is running and we can look at the details of that instance. We immediately see that the workflow instance is in the sleep state. So that's for basic things, but yeah, obviously it runs without any backend for persistence. So let's look at this and get this going as well. So let's shut down the container, and we want to run this with persistence. So if we want to do that, the only thing we need to do, we need to specify what type of persistence we want to go, and we, in this case, will use the MongoDB. So if we just start that, exactly the same definition of the workflow we will use with the MongoDB persistence. So let's see if we have the MongoDB running. No, it's not, so let's start it. So we have the MongoDB running, and we can actually connect to this as well. So if we just go here, there we go. And if we refresh, alright, the service is starting up. We already see that we got the Automatiko database, and we have two collections. One is to keep the timer jobs, for instance for sleep state, and the other one is for the workflow definition hello world 1.0. So if we now go back and run a new instance, then in our MongoDB we will see an instance here with the variables, and we can look at the it's already finished, so one more time, and we just find it here, and we have the information about the timers as well. So now everything is persisted and stored for further work. So if we just look at that, then it's gone because it completed, the instance is gone as well. So here we have the persistence as well. And the last thing I would like to share with you today is the events. So serverless workflow specification is mainly for event-driven application. So let's do that as well. So we shut down that because we want to integrate that with Kafka, for instance. So here, if we want to send events, we need to create events, event definition. So first, so here we give it a name, test event. We give it a type, my event, and we give it a source, my source, and the last thing to give is the kind, because we just need to make it that it's produced, because we are going to produce that. And to do so, we're going to change the definition of the inject state. So let's see, for the sake of this, so it's here, so it's next state, and we want to go to sleep, and then we want to produce events, and here we want to produce the events with the event ref called test event. So we reference it by name, and then we want to push the data with it. So we do an expression, and we create a new object for it with the greeting, and that will be taken from message. Alright, that should be all. So to get started, we just need to start a container with the Mongo and the Kafka URL. So this will connect our service with both Mongo for persistence and Kafka for events. Without doing much of that, it will use the type as the topic name, but it's just the first version of it, so most likely it might change as there are restrictions on the names of the topic, so most likely that is not the best choice to use the type, but for the time being we can stick to that. Alright, so as soon as the service is started, let's go to our Kafka. So we can see already we have the test topic that is based on our definition here. Sorry, that's not the one, so it's not yet our topic. So let's here and just send it. Oh, sorry, and now it's done. It's in the sleep state, so if you look here, we should see my event, and if we look at my event, first of all, let me just change the configuration here, so this actually will show us the data, and if you look at the data, we just run it, and there you go, we have our first event sent. As you can see, hello world, greeting, and fully compatible with the cloud event specification for sending events. And that concludes our demonstration for today. Stay tuned, there will be more and more information shared with you around the Automatiko and Serverless Workflow specification, but I hope you will enjoy the first quick tour around the Serverless Workflow with Automatiko and the Automatiko development container that makes things very simple. Thanks a lot for listening, and till the next time.